Hi there. My name is Laura Lundquist, and I'm a physiotherapist and owner of Zoomers Physiotherapy and Health Solutions. Today, I want to show you 3 stretches that can be really helpful for some muscle tightness that tends to creep in as the days, weeks, months, and even as the years go by. The first stretch that I want to show you today is for the hamstring muscle, which is the big thigh muscle in the back of the leg. Now, this muscle can be stretched in lots of different ways, but this is one of my favorite ones. So you're going to find yourself sitting towards the middle or front of a nice stable chair that's not going to tip on you. And then whichever leg you're going to stretch, you're going to straighten that leg out in front of you, just letting your toes be relaxed. You don't need to feel like you pull them all the way up towards you, but they don't need to be pointed down at the floor either, just in that Goldilocks medium position. Body is going to be nice and tall here with the knee straight, and then we're just going to tip forward from the hip, and you shouldn't need to go very far before you start to feel that stretch behind the thigh. And it's as simple as that. This is a great exercise if you're sitting at your desk, at home, at your kitchen table, dining room table, anytime, even on a park bench after a walk. This is a great way to loosen up some of the tightness that's generated in the back of the thigh, especially if we've been doing a lot of sitting. So then we would stretch the other side again, body nice and tall, knee is straight, toes just relaxed, hinging forward from the hips so that we're not rounding in the low back, just hinging to feel that stretch in the back of the thigh. And a stretch like this, you're going to want to hold it for 20 to 30 seconds and maybe repeat it 2 or 3 times on each side. So that's for the hamstring muscle in the back of the thigh. The next stretch we're going to talk about is for the opposite side of the leg, the hip flexor. This muscle also tends to get tight as we sit, or even if we're quite active and doing a lot of walking and hiking, we use the muscles at the front of the hip a lot, and those muscles can tend to get tight, and that can generate some soreness in the low back or in the hips. So it's important to make sure that we regularly free it up. For this one, you could use a wall, or you could use the back of a stable chair, and you're going to step one leg. So in this case, I've got my right leg stepped back behind me, with most of my weight in the left leg. Now in this position, I'm actually going to lift that right heel up and let my right knee bend a little as I pull my hips underneath me, staying nice and upright to feel a stretch underneath the waistband at the front of the right thigh. Just standing here nice and tall. Oftentimes you'll see people do this stretch and lean back. That can actually be quite hard on your back and not particularly effective for the hip. So body tall, hips tuck under a little, and you should get a stretch at the front of that right hip right away. Let's step that right foot forward, step the left leg back. I'm a little tight on this side myself. Again, let that left heel come up, left knee bends, tuck the hips under, body tall, feeling that stretch at the front of the hip. If you're not feeling it stretch at the front of the hip, check that you've lifted your heel in the back and that your shoulders and pelvis or hips are pointed straight ahead, and that you've not opened up or twisted a little bit to one side or the other, because that can make a big difference as far as how much stretch you feel. And again, these stretches you're going to hold 20 to 30 seconds and do 2 to 3 of them on each side based on how you're feeling. The last stretch I want to show you, or last area I want to talk about, is stretching the chest muscles. Now, there are a couple of different ways that you can do this. One way, if you have a chair, is simply sitting in a nice upright position towards the middle of the chair, reaching back with your hands on the seat of the chair, and then just lifting up through the chest to feel it stretch through the front chest area between the front of the shoulder and the breastbone on either side. And you just hold that position 20 to 30 seconds again, 2 to 3 times. These muscles tend to get tight because so much of our world is in front of us. We drive, we're at our computer, we're reading, interacting with our other technology, working in the kitchen. Everything is in front of us. So stretching these muscles this way is a really important thing to do to try to lessen the stress in our upper back and neck. Of course, there are lots of ways to stretch those muscles. These are just 3 examples, but I'd encourage you to give these ones a try, see how they feel, and if they don't seem to do the trick for you, then check in with a physiotherapist and find out which stretch might be the best for you to get the most out of your body. Take care.